Personal mastery is becoming a higher version of yourself. The first step to personal mastery is self-awareness. Self-awareness. Do you know yourself? And when I ask that question, oftentimes people will say, yes, I am Jim Jones, or I am Freedom John, or I am Faith Ochu, or I am Faith Heavens. People define themselves. But you see, if you say you are Freedom John, those are just two names, two words put together by your parents. But you see, a lot of times you'd say, oh, my hand, my nose, my heart, my clothes. My. Who is my? Who are you? Have you ever taken time to encounter your true essence? What you carry? I'm talking about what you carry by default. What do you carry by default? I am a believer in God. And there are people who do not believe in God and have other belief systems. I have personally found a nexus in all belief systems. A connection to all belief systems. No matter what you believe, I have found one connection. Whether you believe in God, you believe in science, you believe in the universe, or you believe in God under a different religion from mine, there's one connection. Everything you see on the earth, everything, every technology, every invention, every creation, every amazing thing you have ever seen that has blown your mind, this amazing technology that has allowed me sit in front of you wherever you are and have this conversation with you, this technology, all of them, all faith, all worship, all prayer, all belief systems begin with just one thing. One, that's the connection for me. One, your thoughts. The highest function any human being can perform is thought. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. The highest function you can perform is thoughts. Literally, your thoughts govern the outcome of your life. Everything about your life, everything you would ever become, every great dream is at the announcement of a thought. If I asked you, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What would you engage? Your thinking faculty. The highest function any human being can perform is thoughts. Why is this important? The first step, like I said, in personal mastery is self-awareness. Self-awareness begins with taking a log of the quality of your thoughts. What kind of thoughts do you think? What kind of thoughts are you engaged with on repeat? Every human mind has two compartments. Very important compartments. The thinking rational mind that can refuse an idea, that can judge an idea, that can measure, that can postulate, the human rational mind. It's called the conscious mind. And the second aspect of your mind is your subconscious mind. Any idea that you hold on repeat in your conscious mind, whether it is worry or faith, whether it is courage or fear, any idea you hold on repeat in your conscious mind will be planted as a seed in your subconscious mind. Now here's the catch. Anything that moves from your conscious to your subconscious mind will, without a doubt, show up in your life. It will show up on the screen of space as functions, as experiences, as your reality. And therefore, you've been invited to guard your heart, guard your thinking with all diligence, with all responsibility and seriousness, because out of it come the issues of your life. Your thoughts are your reality. Your thoughts are your reality. Personal mastery begins with self-awareness. You want to answer the question, who am I? For some of you, you have a confident demeanor. The people like that, they look very confident. They look very confident. But when they step out, their productivity, their outcomes are not commensurate to what they look like. If you took stock of the kind of thoughts that resonate in your mind, you'd see that oftentimes you are engaged in small thoughts, fearful thoughts, thoughts that are in contrast, opposite to what you look like. There is a true north in every human being, and that true north is the quality of thoughts that you think. And so in these sessions of personal mastery, we will be cutting to the chase and having conversations on the shortcuts. They're not necessarily shortcuts, but information that you can use to win on a daily basis. A very interesting question. Are thoughts controllable? Yes. There's a difference between thoughts and mental activity. You see, your brain is like a massive hard disk. Your brain is like a massive hard disk. It constantly is filing information, data upon data, and crunching the data. Okay? And so you could think almost 70,000 thoughts every day. But you can decide what you want to think. How? Every human being you see is a function of the information they take in. If you control your feed system, what enters your eyes and your ears, your gates, if you control your feed system, if you personally make a decision to influence your feed system, you influence your thoughts. In the last 15 to 20 years of my life, I have never once woken up and spoken a word that does not look like the future I'm seeking. I govern the thoughts that I use. And if you have a scriptural background, I'm a Christian, so I'm going to pull out some Bible verses. The Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. The Bible says, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue or praise, think on these things. Even the Bible recommends that you control the thoughts that you think. It says, do not be conformed. In other words, don't fit into the world's mold. But it says, be transformed. Become a higher version of yourself by renewing your mind, altering the way you think. The source of every problem, the source of every solution is your mind. It's your mind. It's your mind. I remember a very interesting account of arguably, but the father of space science. And John F. Kennedy had asked him, how can we put a man on the moon? Dr. Werner von Braun is his name. How can we put a man on the moon and bring him back to Earth safely? And he said to John F. Kennedy, the will to do it. And not quite too long after that, John F. Kennedy was addressing the US public. And I heard him say things like, we choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon, not because it's easy, but because it's hard. And he said a few other things, but then he began to describe the spacecraft that will be used. And he said something very interesting. He said it will be made from metals, alloys of metals, some that have not been created yet. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the things I'll let you know before this amazing conversation ends is this. The future you seek would have to first enter your mind as a thought. And the more you feed that thought, the larger it grows. The more you regurgitate and focus on that thought, the larger it grows. When that thought of success, prosperity, a happy life, a beautiful spouse, a handsome husband, children, a good business, when that thought impregnates your deeper mind, it will show up on the screen of space. It will become your experience. Personal mastery, becoming a higher version of yourself, begins with self-awareness. Self-awareness. And in the next few weeks, we would examine self-awareness and how you can use it to bring out the God colors in you. Every human being carries the divine life. Every human being carries the God life. And the proof of the God life in you is your breath. You're a living soul because you carry the God life. And self-awareness begins with you understanding that you're a spirit being, you have an intellect, and you live in a body. And these are the things we will be examining in the next session. Your breath is the proof of God life in you. And understand this, the God life is not limited. The God life is not limited. Personal mastery is learning to surf the depths and the heights of the God life within you. And when you learn to surf the depths and the heights of the God life within you, and it's not complicated, let me throw this in for free. God's modus operandi, God's method, his modus operandi for governing the earth is laws. God governs the earth by laws. One of such laws, for example, is the law of gravity. Whatever goes up must come down. Dr. Werner von Braun said this in an interview. He said the laws of the universe are so precise that we have no problem putting a person on the moon and bringing them back to earth safely with the precision of a fraction of a second. He says somebody has to put those laws in place, and that is why I believe in God. These were the words of a scientist. The proof of the God life in you is the breath in your nose. The God life is within you, and it is your assignment to search its riches, harness its riches, and transform your life. And these are the things that we'll be talking about when we meet in these conversations. All right, fantastic. So ladies and gentlemen, at this stage, we come to the end of this conversation. If you want to continue this conversation, feel free to join our community.